So welcome those of you who are here. This is Roger Salam, Chairman and Founder of the Winner's Circle, welcoming you to our special webinar today with my dear friend and colleague, Ted.Thomas. I've got something really special for you today. And if you don't know Ted, you're definitely in for a real treat. For more than 20 years, he's been the go-to guy in this country for a unique type of investment that is safer than any CD that pays 16, 18, and in some cases, 24% or more interest per year. And the bank, the kind of CDs that you get from bank, you know what we call them? Those CDs are not certificate of deposit, those are certificate of destruction. That CD. And this investment, if you not only, there's two ways you can do it. One, you can be an passive investor. Another, you can actually make it a business. And if you make it a business, it also doesn't tie you down to any one place. It doesn't have, any overblown management, broker, or government fees either. And for more than 200 years, it's been backed by every county government in the United States of America. As a matter of fact, they rely on it. Yes. So you can invest not just as an individual, you can invest through your LLCs, in your own name. You can even roll it into your self-directed IRA if you are from the US. But if you're outside the US, you don't have to worry about any of the regulations from the US. And I can totally appreciate that if you're listening either, and many of my people, Ted, they listen to the replays. And if you're listening for the first time, I can appreciate if you're skeptical. My only request is please have an open mind. That's all I request, is have an open mind. I know I was skeptical when for the first time, and Ted and I go back for way over a decade now. I've known him, so.
I think I had black hair. Did I have black hair?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, wow. Whoa. I was skinny too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So with that, Ted, I think that you can take it over from here, and then I'm going to be taking notes myself. And guys, no matter how many times I've heard Ted, every time I hear he's a consummate professional, he's always making improvements. So I'm going to be taking notes just like you are. And at the end, and I'm a student just like you are as well. So maybe I'm a little slower than you because I got to learn. You listen to more than one time. So you're way smarter than me. So Ted, thank you so much for taking your time. I know how busy you are to speak to my tribe, and appreciate it if you'll take it from here.
Great. Well, thank you, Roger. I mean, that's a nice introduction. And hello to all of you, and welcome. This is going to be really educational, and there's going to be a ton of content. But you see the first little note I put up there for you. So now that you've had that, I actually call this program Imagine Wealth Without Risk. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it. But what I'm going to do is, this is a program that's been around for over 200 years. So I'm going to lay a foundation. Now, not to worry if you don't get every detail right away, but this thing's been around for 200 years. So what I'm going to do is go through a step-by-step process and teach you all that. Now, you don't know who I am, and rather than me stand here and use up all our valuable time bragging about, oh, Ted.Thomas is the greatest, I'll tell you this. I've been doing exactly what I'm going to teach you to do myself for 25 years, okay? Now, I did it 4 or 5 years before that, and then I started teaching it, and now I'm a practitioner of it, and I've been teaching it around the world. So I don't know where you are listening right now. It doesn't matter. I teach the same class in Singapore. I teach it in Bangkok. I teach it in Sydney. You're getting the idea. It doesn't matter whether you're in the UK or you're in Canada or you're in Mexico City. So I've done it in all those places. So I'm going to take you on a little step-by-step process. But first, I'll introduce myself with just a short video, kind of give you an idea of what I've been doing over these past few years. And then we'll jump right into basic information. If you don't have pencil and paper, I'm going to suggest you get some. If you want, you request it, I'll stay and do questions and answers afterwards. But don't even worry about that. Let's just get real good content into your heads right now. And when we get finished, you'll be surprised how much you have learned. Okay, so with that, we'll go right to the first video.
Will you have financial freedom to retire? Travel, relax, shop, see the world, enjoy life, and fulfill your dreams. Ted.Thomas will reveal how you can become an insider and earn as much as 24% return with an accountable and measurable investment. And your checks will be payable to the local government. In just a few minutes, Ted.Thomas will reveal a safe, secure government program that you can easily learn and do at your home computer or laptop.
I started with $30,000. And I made that into $130,000.
I never used any of my own money. I used other people's money. I used investors' money. And we earned over a 5-year period about $5 million.
We took that $34,000 property and we sold it for $135,000.
Are you ready to learn how to change your future? Are you ready to change your financial future? Internationally sought after speaker and educator Ted.Thomas is about to show you how.
He changed my life. Not only changed it, he saved it.
When I think about how it's changed my life, I feel more like myself again.
You will be empowered. Anyone can change their life.
Ted.Thomas is recognized as the world's leading authority on investing in tax lien certificates and tax defaulted property. He's in demand to speak at events with Donald Trump, Tony Robbins, and Robert Kiyosaki, and has recently presented in Sydney, Singapore, San Francisco, Bangkok, Vancouver, Los Angeles, London, and New York. Ted.Thomas is the go-to guy when it comes to safe, secure government certificates.
One of the first certificates I bought was this one right here, and the total certificate cost $132.50. And so I went and knocked on the house next door, and this guy answered the door. His name was Kevin. And so I said, Kevin, what do you feel this property's worth? He said about $15,000. I said, would you take 10? He said, sure.
I paid around $6,900, just shy of $7,000.
I bought this property right here for $5,400 of taxes.
$229,716.
How can this all be true? You're about to learn how the people you've just seen changed their lives with this 200-year-old predictable, safe, and secure business. He is famous for training and guiding newcomers and showing them how to earn a 6-figure income within 12 months of completing his program. He challenges the Wall Street wizards to produce returns like the government certificates he advises. You are in the right place if you'd like to earn an extra $10,000 or even $15,000 a month working only part-time. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome.
Okay, so here I am. So I'm Ted.Thomas, and I've been doing this for a long, long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you the basics first, and then I'm going to show you step by step how to make safe, secure money. This is a safe, secure system. Matter of fact, it's very predictable. Now, I know who you are. I've talked to clients like you for this past 20 years, and I can show you a step-by-step process. So just kind of open up your mind. Like Roger said, just open up your mind. You'll be surprised. But everything I'm going to teach you tonight is 200 years old. I shouldn't just say tonight because some of you are probably in the morning, but we're glad to have you here, and we're going to go through step by step. All right, so here's the first thing you have to understand. All of the investment you'll do will be directly with the government. There won't be any brokers. There won't be any bankers. There won't be anybody to siphon off any profit. No attorneys. You're going to invest directly with the government, and you're going to get a check back from the government. So let me say that again. You're going to invest with the government. You're going to get a check back from the government, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. Now, we're going to learn how to do that in a physical environment where you could go and raise your hand like I'm doing now, and we're going to also teach you how to do it online. So it's not going to matter where you are in the world. You'll be able to do this. Now, the only place that I know of is the United States that sell the tax certificates that make these kinds of money. Now, a few other Canadian provinces do, but they only make 2 or 3%. Here, we're going to talk about 16, 18, 24, 36% returns, and the check's going to come from the government, not going to come from Ted.Thomas. So I'm going to start out with a bang. It'll be a video, and we're going to go fast from here on. So you really need to concentrate and write notes. Keep your notes. You'll be glad you did, because when you review your notes later, wow, you're going to say, where has this been all your life? Well, you're getting it tonight, so this is an important thing. So here we go. Yes.
Ted, you have been kind enough to also stay a few minutes to answer questions. The people are already asking questions. What I'm going to ask them, yeah?
Oh, I'll be happy to.
Great. So if you, as you're listening, if you have questions, you can just put it on the chat box. I'm going to look at the chat box, and at the end, many of the questions, quite frankly, will be answered as you go. And if they're not answered, I promise you, Ted is going to take those answers. Questions.
That's a big help. That's a big help. Okay, good. That'll be great. So you'll kind of watch the chat box, and I'll just concentrate on.
Yeah, you focus on that. I'll monitor the chat box.
That'll be perfect. Well, that's great. So now you're going to get 2 teachers tonight. What's better than that? Yeah. Okay, so here I go with another video. Watch it closely. It's going to be real easy to learn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, you are about to discover a little-known government program called tax certificates that allows you to write a check to the government and get a check back from the government with a return on your money that can be 16, 18, 24, and all the way up to 36%. My very special guest today is self-made millionaire Ted.Thomas, a man who has made millions and millions of dollars for himself and his students over the past 25 years, teaching them how anybody can profit with tax certificates.
Anybody can make money, and I found that out at age 19. I was a high school dropout.
You don't have to have a college degree to use Ted's program.
It's really just about learning the process. Anybody can do this business as long as you have the right guidance.
Ted is a best-selling author, a highly sought-after lecturer. Ted.Thomas is quite simply the most trusted and respected authority in America when it comes to tax certificates. And the good news is anybody can buy them anywhere across this great country. And you can do it with any level of income or education.
So you can get into this business for, $100, $50 bill.
The tax lien was only $67.12.
The big guy, the little guy, anybody can use it.
The least expensive tax lien certificate that we bought was $27, and we bought about 400 of them over the next year and made about $100,000 profit that year.
Okay, so that's going to be my objective, is trying to get you up to that kind of level, okay? So who is this presentation for? It's really for everyone, but let's kind of narrow it down for a little bit. If you want to learn a business that you can do from your home, this is the perfect one. If you want to go and do the business outside the home, you can do it there too. Now, I'm looking for people, and I know this is at least the level you want to work at. They want to make $10,000, $15,000 a month. And that's easily doable in this business. You're going to be able to do that part-time because, as I say, I'm going to teach you how to do it on the internet, which you're going to love. All right, now what are you going to discover? You're going to learn how to make money directly from the government. Now, you can't invest with me. You're going to invest with the government. You're going to get a check back from the government. But look at this slide. It says you can get a minimum of 16, 18, 24, all the way up to 36. Now, you're going to buy government certificates, which are nothing more. I'm just getting closer. I got a big desk here in front of me. You're just going to get a piece of paper that looks like that. That's all it is. And it'll say tax lien certificate on it and have your name. So nobody else can ever steal it. You can take it to your home and just leave it on the desk. It's no good to anybody else. Only you can cash it in. So it's safe and secure. So you'll invest with the government. When the people come in and pay their taxes, you'll see that you're going to get all of that money that's on the certificate. And I'm going to show you how that's done in just a minute. So if you don't already have a lucrative business that you're doing, a lucrative investment, well, I'm going to show you one tonight, and you'll learn how to do it. Now, kind of test me. You can look at your watch. In the first 20 minutes, I'm going to show you how to take $2,000 and make it into $120,000. And we're going to do that with no risk. I said with no risk. Now, why is it no risk? Because we'll invest with the government and we'll get a check back from the government. That's going to make this, and write this down, predictable, certain, and secure. Now, wouldn't you like to have your investments predictable, certain, and secure? And that's what we're going to talk about. Now, some of you have a lot more than $2,000. So if you want to take $10,000 and you want to grow that, I can show you with no risk how to grow that up to $500,000 if you want. Now, everything I'll teach you will be 200 years old. So we're going to talk about these government tax certificates. Now, all they are is that piece of paper like I showed you. And here's the deal. Thousands of people don't always pay their property tax. So look at the slide with me. The house on the left-hand side of the slide could be an office building, could be a movie theater, it could be a shopping center. Okay, if they don't pay their taxes, they're going to go in default. So taxes, generally speaking, are about 1%. Some states a little higher than others, but generally 1%. So that's going to be owed to the local government. Now, I don't know where you're listening from or where you're watching from, but in the United States, that first tax always is by the government at a local level, and that's called a county, okay? So I put government center because I teach this all over the world, and they don't quite understand what the government's in. But anyway, that property owner owes the local government. Now, follow from the government down the slide now, and you see it says certificate. All right, well, when you buy a tax certificate, what happens is the local government found out someone didn't pay the tax, but they still have to run the government. The government still has to pay the employees, fix the roads, have the schools, pay the police, the fire department, all those things. So the government issues a certificate. You and I can raise our hand and buy that certificate. Now, why would we buy that certificate? We're paying someone else's taxes. Well, because the government will give us a huge reward. If you go to a bank with your money, you're going to earn about 2%, 1 or 2%. if you buy one of these certificates, you can earn all the way up to 25 and even 30%, even 36% on one of these certificates. So 98% of the people will come in and pay their tax, but they're going to be late. When they're late, all that penalty money is going to go to you. Now, there's two systems in place, just two. One, they're going to issue the certificate. Two, the local government can go out and confiscate. That means they could seize that property. They could take that property away from the homeowner. And I'll teach you both systems so you know both systems. And you're going to see both are very, very profitable, as you're going to see. So a tax lien certificate, for those of you that know a little bit about real estate, is the first position lien. It's the priority lien on the property. Now, most people say, well, I'm a real estate broker, and the first mortgage is always the first mortgage. Well, it is the first mortgage, but I'm here to tell you, the first lien on the property is always taxes. And if you didn't know that, you could check with the county treasurer, or you could check with any title company and say, oh no, taxes is always first. So if you own the taxes on that property, you now control it. Now, I want you to think of what I just said. You're going to buy a certificate and pay someone's taxes. All you're paying is 1% of the value, and you're paying the taxes, but you now have the first position. You control a property for 1%. They can't sell the property. They can't mortgage the property. They can't do anything in that property until they pay you. So I said it earlier, and if you wrote it down, you've got it. Now you have a predictable, certain, and secure investment. Your money is secured by the real estate, and it's protected by the local government. This is the most secure and lucrative investment in America today. It's the most secure and lucrative investment in America today. Can't invest with me. I'm just going to teach you how to do it. All right. Safest, most lucrative investment in America today. Why? Because your money's invested with the government. You're going to get a check back from the government. So imagine you sitting in a province in Canada or down in Panama, and you're buying one of these certificates online. You're investing directly with the government. Wow. That's going to be protected money. It doesn't get any better than that. Take my word for it. Now, this investment opportunity means you lock in that interest rate. Now, the bank rates, they kind of go up and down like the stock market does, right? Well, these rates don't do that. Whatever your certificate says on it, if it says 16 or if it says 20, that's what you're going to get from the local government. So that means you're going to get your money back plus a 20% return. Now, this is going to get better and better and better for the next hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to tell you that. Every step of the way, I'm going to take you through that. All right, now some people are making money every time. I don't know what you're doing with your money, but some people make money every time. And what they do, they simply do this. They buy these certificates. Now, in the United States, there's going to be thousands. No, there's going to be millions. I'm speaking to you from a small studio in Florida, okay? Now, here in Florida, in 2019, they had 1 million certificates. That means 1 million property owners did not pay their tax. So each of the counties can sell those certificates, and all you have to do is know where the county is and then raise your hand and buy any certificate you want. You can buy one, you can buy 5, you can buy 50 of them, you can buy as many as you want, but you can't invest with Ted. You invest with the government, and that's what's going to make your money secure, predictable, certain, and secure. Remember that theme now, and just put that in the back of your mind. If you write it down a few times, you'll be shocked. All right, now this is Rocco. Now, Rocco wanted to do this, so I taught him how to do it. And what he did, read the slide on the bottom. It says he purchased tax lien certificate. He did not purchase the property. He doesn't have any management. He doesn't have to cut the grass. He doesn't have to rent it. He's going to buy certificates, which are just pieces of paper, okay? This is a passive investment. He's just buying pieces of paper. So he bought those on 2 houses. And if you look over his shoulder, you can see behind him, there's some empty lots there. Well, there's 27 lots. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So that's where he bought. All right, he decided that's right. So he bought certificates, okay? Now he invested, and he's going to tell you how much he invested. He earned 18%, made himself $1,800. So just listen to him closely, and then I'll go back through. This is where he bought, and this is what he did.
I bought tax certificates. People that did not pay their taxes. I paid their taxes. I paid around $6,900, just shy of $7,000. I got 18% of my money. I just got redeemed in December, and I got $1,890 back, which is 18% on your money. Where in the economy of today with the banks and the mutual fund are you going to get 18% on your money? It's not going to happen.
Okay, so let's think about what he did. He invested about $6,900. He bought the certificates. He took them home and put them on his desk. They just sat on his rusty dusty. He just sat down, didn't do anything else, passive investment. When the people came in and paid their taxes, he got all of his money back. I said he got all of his money back plus another $1,800. Well, he didn't do any more than anybody else would. He could buy them online. Yes, he could buy them online. Was it safe and secure? Absolutely. Should you be doing it? The answer is yes. You just got to think about it. I'll show you another example. This is Bob Schumacher, okay? Now he's going to do the same thing. He can buy tax lien certificates or he can buy the tax deeds. But we're concentrating on certificates right now. Let's see how he does.
I'd have to say that the best dollar for dollar deal I've ever done on a piece of land, it happened in Oklahoma. I went out to an outlying county and I bought a tax lien. The tax lien was on a 25-acre piece of land. The tax lien was only $67.12. You'd think that nobody would ever abandon a piece of land for that small of a tax bill, but things like that do happen. And guess what? Those people never did pay that tax. They never redeemed that tax lien, and I ended up getting the tax deed to that property. I eventually sold that piece of land for $22,500. It's not uncommon to make $10,000 or $20,000 off of a deal.
All right, now let's think of what I just taught you, okay? So the first guy, he raised his hand. He spent $6,900. He bought the certificate, just took it home, and he sat on his rusty dusty. He didn't do anything. And the people came in and paid, and so he made $1,800 because he got 18%. This guy went out and spent $67 and bought a certificate, and the people didn't come in and pay, and he made $20,000. Tell me what's bad about this. It's always good, okay? So one was tax lien certificate, the other was a tax lien. One guy got paid, the other guy didn't get paid. So you say, wow, how good an investment is this? Well, it's a great investment. It's been around for decades. Problem is most people don't know anything about it and they don't know how to do it. Okay, so the tax collector, when you raise your hand like I'm doing now, and you buy the certificate, he automatically puts you in the first lien position. So the counties have records of everything. So you're right there in the file. That property can't be sold. Nothing can happen on that property until you get paid. So you have to decide, is this the kind of investment you want? You're investing with the government. You're getting a check back from the government. It doesn't get any safer or any more secure than that. Now, let me just show you kind of a sampling of the different rates in the different states. Now, I won't cover the whole thing because that would take us too long, because I want you to get the whole picture here tonight, because what I'm trying to do is trying to fill your head with knowledge. And once you understand this, you'll say, oh my goodness, I have really been missing out on something. So after tonight, you won't have to miss out on this. Okay, in Arizona, if you bought a certificate today and it stayed outstanding, they didn't pay you, at the end of the year, they would owe you whatever you paid today plus 16%. Now, compare that with Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whatever bank you're using. So those banks are paying 1 or 2%. You could be making 16. All right, let's go to Illinois. Now, in Illinois, same kind of thing. You bought a certificate today. It could stay outstanding for 6 months. In the first 6 months, you earn 18%. But in Illinois, if they don't pay you, they let the certificate go another 6 months. Wow, think about that. You get another 18%. Now, look, I didn't make the rules here. I'm just bringing you the message. So if it sounds a little bit unbelievable, just kind of digest it. These are rules in every state. I don't write the statutes. I'm not the legislature. This is what's been going on for hundreds of years. So other people, they're not going to tell you about it. Why would they tell you about it? They don't want you there competing with them. All right, let's go to Georgia. Now, Georgia is my favorite state. Why is it my favorite? Well, you're going to see right now, okay? So you bought a certificate today. If it stayed outstanding for the whole year, at the end of the year, they would owe you whatever you paid. So you'd get that and 20%. Not bad. So that's looking pretty good, right? All right, well, I'm going to come back to Georgia, and I'll show you why it's my favorite in just a minute. All right, Iowa, if you raise your hand like this, they're going to issue a certificate. That certificate, for every month that property owner doesn't pay you, 2% a month. Wow, 2% a month. The banks are paying 2% a year, 2% a month in Iowa. Not bad. Now, everybody asks me about Texas. Texas is exciting, very exciting. In Texas, if you buy a certificate today, they can come in and pay any day. But if it stays outstanding for 6 months, at the end of the 6 months' time, if you don't get paid, if you haven't been paid, then it turns into a deed and you get the property. Okay, but any day they come in and pay, they're going to have to pay you whatever you paid plus 25%. Now, that's the lowest rate you can make in Texas, is 25%. All right, so what's my favorite? Well, it's Georgia, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, now watch my hands for a second. I bought a certificate today, and let's say it stayed outstanding all for the whole year, it would be 20%. But any time that they come in to pay, any day, if they come in on the 10th day after you bought it, they come in on the 35th day, if they come back on the 180th day, whatever day they come in, they have to give you all your money back plus 20%. So conceivably, what if they paid you in a month? You'd make 20% in a month. Well, Georgia's a big state, and they have 159 auctions every year. So you could go to another auction next month and make another 20%. The point is, you're making powerful amounts of money. All right, now here's what should be going on in your head. You're saying, Ted, if I bought a certificate and I went all the way out here to a year and they didn't pay me, well, what happens then? Well, only two things can happen with a tax certificate. How many things? Two. One, you get paid, and two, if you don't get paid, you get the property. All right. Now, if you are in Georgia and you are my student, I'd say, look, at the end of the first year, you bought it here and go to the end of the first year, you could foreclose, but don't foreclose. I'm going to tell you not to. Let the certificate roll into the subsequent year. So on day 365, you could take the property, but you don't have to. Let it go to the next year, because in the second year in Georgia, you would make 30%. And in the third year, you'd make 40%, and you make a whopping 50% in the fourth year. So I don't make the rules, folks. I'm just telling you the rules. Now, most people don't know all these rules, but I've spent 25 years teaching people how to do this and sending them to auction. You could be making this kind of money, and the check doesn't come from Ted.Thomas. It doesn't come from a broker. It comes from where? It comes from the government. So think about that. This is a powerful investment. You should be saying to yourself, gee, Gladys, should we be doing this? Yes, you should be doing this. When would be a good time to start? Right now. So let's kind of review what we've learned so far. Every property has a tax. Tax is owed to the local government, as you can see. If the local government doesn't get paid, we're learning tax liens right now, but half of the states will actually sell tax deeds, and we'll learn that in just a few minutes. So I hope you're getting this, and this is starting to make a lot of sense to you. So I'm giving you a lot of foundational material so you can get it, because I want you to have a ton of content, because when you finish this, I can have you doing this in days. If you want to sit in your office and do it, we'll teach you how to sit in your office and do it. So who does this? Well, the rich people do it. They've been doing it for decades, but they're not going to tell you about it, are they? Why should they tell you about it? All right, this is an important slide. There's no other investment like this, I can assure you of that. In this investment, the government gives you the right to receive all of your money back. Now let's think about what I just said. The government gives you the right to get all your money back. If you don't get your money back, you get the property. But what did you pay for that property? You basically paid 1 or 2% because you just paid the taxes. You'd like to have a property with no mortgage for 1 or 2%. You could sell it. You can do anything you want with it. All right, important stuff, because 99% of the people don't have a clue on what I'm talking about. So the government gives you the right to get back all your money. Now, can you buy a stock, get all your money back? No. Could you buy a business and get all your money back? Could you loan your money to somebody and get all your money? You know, there's a lot of no's in life, right? Well, this is always yes. If you buy a tax certificate, you're either going to get paid or you're going to get the property. It's one or the other. If you get the property, you got it for such a low price, 1 or 2%. You can sell it for anything you want. It's up to you. You can do what you want. So I hope you're getting the idea. Really powerful, powerful investment. Who does all the work? The beauty of the investment is, I said, I'm going to raise my hand like this and buy a certificate at a real auction, or you could do it online, and you could raise your hand online and do it. And who does all the work? Well, the tax collector does. All you do after you buy the certificate is you just go home and sit on your assets. Just sit right down in your assets and wait to get paid. There is no work. There's no work to do. You just wait until the people come in and pay their tax. So write it down right now. 95, 97% of all the people will pay you back. Let me say that again. 95 to 97% of all the tax certificates will have you paid within 2 years. Now, how do I know that? Well, I've been doing it for a long time, but you can ask any county treasurer, do you get paid on these things? And they'll say, well, we have records, and they can go back and look, and you'll find out it's probably higher than that. I'm saying 95 to 97. It might even be higher than that. Yeah, people pay you back. So you're gonna get your money back, and you're gonna be able to buy another certificate right away. So it's a nice business if you want. If you're looking for cash flow, it's a cash flow business. It's been around for 200 years. I didn't invent it. Here, just in Florida, over 1 million certificates just in Florida. Okay, so why is the county selling these certificates? Well, the county has bills to pay. Matter of fact, the county has a lot of bills to pay. For example, the county employees all have to be paid. But let's look at my slide there. It says, who pays the police? Well, the county does. Who pays the fire department? The county does. All right. The most important thing that the county pays is the local schools. Okay, so if the schools if they can't collect the tax, they'd have to close the school. So if they collect $1, 50% of it just goes to school. So think about that. So the county is going to be adamant about collecting these taxes. So every county in the United States, and there's a little over 3,000 of them, and then there's another 1,700 municipal governments. Those are all taxing entities. Okay, I have databases of all those. I'll show you how you can access those sitting wherever you might be sitting right now if there's an internet connection. So you could be in Bangladesh, or you could be in the United Kingdom, wherever you wanted to be, and you could be able to do this and buy these certificates. Okay, it doesn't matter what country you're from or whatever. As long as you got U.S. dollars, they'll sell you these certificates. The country only uses U.S. dollars, so you have to have a bank account in U.S. dollars. Okay, so now why haven't the brokers told you about this? See, the brokers know about this, but they haven't told you about it, okay? So why haven't they told you about it? They haven't told you about it because they can't earn a commission. So you're not going to learn from a stockbroker or a real estate broker. You're not going to learn any information about this because they can't make commissions on it. See, those people are commissioned by selling something. Okay, now this isn't bashing brokers. I'm not bashing them. I'm just saying, why would they be telling you about it? An attorney won't tell you anything unless he's going to get paid. It's the front lines of capitalism is what it is, and so nobody's going to tell you about it. Now, bankers know about it, financial planners know about it, but they can't get paid anything. So a banker, what do they want you to do? Take your money and put it in the bank, right? Well, it's going to make a nice solid 1 or 2%. I don't know if that's the best place for you. You'll have to decide that. You'll have to decide it. All right. So the biggest investors are of tax certificates are always going to be the banks. Now, I want you to watch my hands for just a minute. This is just a cord for my headset so I don't catch it on my shoe or something. All right. So now in my hand is a clicker. So let's say that's your $10,000 in my hand, big pile of $100 bills there. That's your money. All right. What if you take your $10,000 and go right over here and put it in the bank? Okay. So now it's sitting there in the bank and it's earning a nice solid 1 or 2%. Can the bank do anything they want with your money? Sure, they could loan it out to a couple that want to buy a washer and dryer. They can loan it out on new cars. They can loan it out on credit cards. They can do anything they want. They just have to give you that nice solid 1%. But what if the bank decides to go right over here to Miami, Florida, and buy a certificate that earns 16 or 18%? All right, when the certificate pays off, 18% is going to go to the bank. Okay, how much are you going to get? Well, you're going to get the 1 or 2% that they promised you. That's all you're going to get. My point in telling you that is this. If the bankers are doing it, should you be considering this investment? Well, when's a good time to consider it? Would be right now. This is an investment that would work for you. You can't invest with me. I don't want your money. I got my own money. But I'll tell you how to do it. And that's invest in the local government, get a check back from that. Do we have courses on that? Of course. I'm in the education business. I've been teaching people how to do this for well over 20 years. So now let's look at this slide because I brought it up before, but I want to solidify it now. On the left side, you can see the home. Okay, it has taxes owed to the local government. So if you go to the local government and you say to them, look, am I going to get paid in my tax certificate? They will tell you the facts in life. Facts in life are 95 to 97%, just what I said a few minutes ago, will pay you within 24 months. So now what I've said, earlier I said it was predictable, certain, and secure. Now I'm telling you about 2 or 3% of you are not going to get paid. So I always have kind of fun with the audience. I want to have fun with you right now. And I can't see if you raise your hand, and I won't ask you to raise it on the internet. But how many people would like to be in the position of not getting paid? They would say, oh, no, Ted, I want to get paid. Well, of course you want to get paid. But if you don't get paid, you get the property. So now how many people want to get paid? Well, a lot of people say, well, wait a minute. You're saying if I don't get paid, I get the property? Yes. So how would you like to have that house for 1% that was worth $250,000? Yes, you'd like to have that. For $2,500 with no mortgage, you could sell it. You could do anything you want. So it's kind of a trick question. In a live audience, we all have a bunch of laughs over that. But the point is, that's the system that they built 200 years ago. The challenge and the reason you don't know about it is the brokers aren't going to tell you. The bankers aren't going to tell you. And unfortunately, the counties do a very poor job of telling the public. The county is only allowed to advertise in their county. So the people in the very next county don't even know they're available. And you're going to see how that adds up in just another few minutes. Okay, so there was a time when I had black hair and I was skinny and I wanted to do an infomercial, which I did. So I went to CBS and NBC. I said, look, I want to do an infomercial. And they said, oh, wait a minute. What is this all about? And I told them what it was about. So just like you, I explained it to them. These guys said, wait a minute. You can't go on television unless you can get an attorney to say this is the real deal. So I said, if I get an attorney and it's the real deal, will you show that on television? They said, yes, we will. All right, now, it was a mistake on my part going on television. Why? Because the audience that's watching is getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they're either worried about not having money or they're worried about they don't have a job. So those are the people out. The rest of us are sleeping, right? So unfortunately, a lot of people that don't have money, they could buy my course material, but they didn't have money to do this, so they wouldn't be successful. But let's see what happened. So I said to them, all right, folks, if you want to do this, I want to do the infomercial, you want to see the attorney, so here's what we did, and you're going to be surprised.
Ted, I have to tell you, when we heard about your system, the producers of this show said this sounds almost too good to be true, and they wanted to get an outside opinion from an attorney. So we contacted real estate expert, attorney, and the author of the New York Times bestseller, How Come That Idiot's Rich and I'm Not? Welcome now, Robert Sheeman. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Lynn, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Now, Robert, Ted.Thomas has been telling us about tax certificate investing and how it is a government-backed program and totally legal. And we wanted to verify with an outside legal and real estate expert like yourself that what Ted is saying is true.
Well, it's not only for real, and it's not only absolutely true, but it's legal and it's statutory. It's not just out there as some investment. This is backed, approved, and written by state governments. This is how the governments collect their tax money when people don't pay their property taxes.
So is it safe to say that this is not a far-fetched get-rich-quick scheme, and that tax certificates are a predictable, certain, and secure investment that is government-sponsored and backed up by property tax laws in each state?
That's right. They occur everywhere. Wherever there's a property tax to be collected, they're legal, they work, the returns can be absolutely fantastic, and this is all for real.
Robert, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Okay, so there you have it. So it's not too good to be true. It's a real program. And when he says statutory, he means the state statutes. So those are the laws that are built for every single state. All right, now this is a very important slide, okay? Now, I've said it a few times, but I want to make sure that it's very clear to everybody. The law, now, I didn't write the law, I'm just telling you about it. The law is just like the slide. It's black and it's white. So let's read the center of the slide together. It says in the center of the slide that you get paid or you get the property. That's the law in every single state and every single county in the United States. So that's the backup so that you know that you're going to be okay. So quick review, don't invest with me, you're going to invest with the local government, okay? You're going to get checks back from the government. So what I want to do now is I hope you went and did what Roger said and just grabbed a little piece of paper. So if you just have a piece of paper, let's learn about making a little bit of money. It'll be fast and it'll be easy. Let's make a little bit of money with these tax certificates because these things really add up to be big dollars very, very fast. So we're going to do this together. And I'll put it in a little story so it's easy for you to remember for later on. But write some of the numbers down when I say write it down. So I have a friend that lives in Phoenix, Arizona. His name is Dave. Dave called me. He said, Ted, I just put $2,000 in the bank. And I said, how much? He said, $2,000. I said, write that down. Now, all of you write it down. So $2,000 on your paper. I said, okay, well, what are you going to do with that? He said, well, I got a CD, and all I'm going to do is renew that every year for 20 years. And I said, wow. I said, why are you doing that? He said, well, I'm 35 and I want to retire when I'm 55. I said, okay, I got it. I said, so you're going to take the 35 and put it in there and just roll it over every single year for till 20. He said, yeah, that's exactly right. And I said, well, what kind of interest rate are you getting? And he said he was going to get 3.75. That's almost 4. So write down 3.75 right under that 2,000. And I said, oh, 3.75. I said, that sounds a little bit high right now. I didn't know that you could get that. He said, well, I got a special deal with the bank. And I said, okay, that's good. I said, let me ask you one final question, and then we'll go on from there. He said, well, what's your question? Sorry, I got a little itch on my nose there. And I said, what's the question? And the question is this. What is that $2,000 at 3.75 going to be worth in 20 years? And he said, I don't know. And most people don't know what their retirement's going to be worth. So I said, let me do it. And let's figure it out. So I had a little calculator that I got from one. Now, not a computer, a little calculator, like on your phone. Okay, so I put $2,000 in the calculator. Then I put 3.75. So you guys all following me now? 2,000, 3.75. And I figured out 1 year. Then all I had to do was reiterate it, do it 19 more times, and I would know what that was going to be worth in 20 years. So remember, he invested 2,000 at 3.75. He wanted to know what it's going to be worth. Well, I'll tell you what it's going to be worth. How's that? A whopping $4,129. That's his retirement. Now, you guys all know that might be 2 tanks of gas in 20 years for all I know. But the point is, he doesn't have enough money. And now he's concerned. He said, Ted, what should I do? And I said, well, look, you live in Arizona. In Arizona, if you remember from the slide I showed you earlier, pays 16%. He said, wow. He said, well, I never bought a certificate. I said, well, why don't we just do it right online if you want, or you can go down to the auction and buy them there. So, oh, no, I'll just do it right online. All right, so now let's just change the equation. He's still going to invest 2,000, so write that again, except now we're going to get 16%. Whoa, so 2,000, 16%, put in the calculator. Okay, I figured out 1 year, and I did 19 more times. Now let's see what his 2,000 is going to be worth. Well, it's not going to be worth 4,100. There you go. All right, so here's how I explained all that to you. It's your choice. It's your money. You can do anything you want with it. I'm for the tax lien certificates. If you want to put your money in the bank, it was okay. 3.75 is what he was doing. You're probably going to make 2%. See, the challenge is people are worried about their money. They're afraid that they're going to get their heart broken. Well, I understand that, but they've invested in a lot of schemes. Okay, well, I don't know what schemes work, but I can tell you this is a government program that's worked for over 200 years, about as old as me, right? 200 years. That's how long this thing has worked. So this is a one you don't have to worry about. It's not going to let you down. So let me just give you one more example on the tax certificates. I hope you guys are getting this. I hope you're seeing that this is something that you should be doing, and you can start small. You want to start with 50 bucks, it's okay with me. You want to start with 500,000, it's okay with me. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can be doing this because we can teach you to do it online, we can teach you how to do it offline. So let's use a great example. A few minutes ago, I said Iowa paid 24%. So why don't we try some in Iowa? So you guys all know what the investment amount. He said he had $2,000. So write $2,000 on your paper. Good. All right, now put 24% under it. All right, I'm going to do the same thing on the calculator. I'm just going to put $2,000, 24%. I'll figure 1 year, so then I know. Then I'll do it 19 more times. Not very sophisticated, but you're getting the idea. All right, so now what's that going to be worth? It's going to be just what I promised you earlier. You probably forgot I promised you I'd show you how to have $120,000 and no risk. Now, why do I have any risk? Because I invested with the government and I'm getting checks back from the government. How does that compare with what you're doing? Wow. And you could be doing this every day. This has been going on for decades. I didn't invent it. I just learned how to teach people how to do it, and I do it myself, okay? So, you like it? When would be a good time to start? Yeah, you can do that. Everyone that's watching me right now can do it. So after 20 years, $2,000 turned into $120,000. You know what? Your wife would think you're a Donald Trump. That's right. She'd be saying, you're Donald Trump. Look at how much money you made. How much risk did we take? The government had the money. All we do is we buy the certificate. We just keep buying more certificates. That's all we keep doing. How good is that? Perfect investment for everybody that's watching me tonight. So you guys are kind of getting the idea. Okay, so let me give you a little backgrounder, how I got in this business. My first career actually was as an airline pilot, and that was a good career. I liked that. And I worked for Aloha Airlines in Honolulu, Hawaii. I liked being in Hawaii. But when I found out that I could get in business, you know, I kind of got itchy feet and said, you know, I think I'll go in business for myself. Well, I did. And so I resigned from the airlines. I moved to California, and I decided I want to be in real estate. So I formed some little groups, and we bought apartment properties and office buildings. And honest to goodness, I couldn't believe it. It was like the space shot, you know. You light the fire under this building, and it would make revenue, and it would just go straight up like that. So there was massive inflation. So we made hundreds and thousands of dollars on these small buildings, and it was a great business, and it grew and it grew. And I was borrowing money all over the place. I would finance the buildings 120%. I didn't say 100, I said 120. So I was really the big risk taker and just growing as fast as a weed, and it was great. And then we had a recession. Now, I didn't know what to do in a recession, that's for sure. And boy, the whole world came down around my shoulders. And I'm not going to burden you with all that, but when the market drops 60 or 70%, you've had it. You know, you'd like to do this is what you'd like to do, but it just keeps going down and going down. So I lost that fancy house in the country club. I used to live right across from the clubhouse, yeah, you know, on the golf course, and I went from the clubhouse to the outhouse in 1 year. That was it. I was gone. Oh, it was terrible. Lost the business, lost everything. I ended up down in a 2-bedroom apartment, and when I get down the bottom, my wife was diagnosed with cancer. Now, there's no way I can let her down. I got to take care of her, that's for sure. All right, so I tried a lot of things. I mean, I tried a lot of things. I tried the internet. I can tell you, I'm no genius on the internet, that's for sure. As a matter of fact, I met a lot of crooks. A lot of people take my money on the internet, but I didn't do very well. So I'm not the internet guy, okay? Now, I have people that are tech qualified that work for me, so I can show you guys how to do it. And I buy on the internet now, but I'm not a whiz kid on the internet. But so I thought about franchising now. If you look at franchising, what a revenue model. If you go to any franchise Thursday or Friday night, man, the revenue is coming in the front door. But what you got to do is you got to go in the back. And when you see there's 150 employees, whoa, who's going to manage them? I'm not that good a manager, so I knew I wasn't going to do that. So I tried multi-level. No, I didn't want to have a garage full of water softeners and soaps and all that. So I figured that guy that was in the multi-level, he was doing pretty good because he was on the top, but that took 40 years. And I didn't want to wait 40 years. But anyway, so I was very lucky. An invisible hand kind of opened my eyes. Some people said, hey, why don't you come and learn about these tax certificates? Well, I was shocked. And I'm going to shock all of you in the next few minutes. I was really shocked. Talk about gold mines. I'm about to show you a real gold mine that's been around for 200 years. And you can take advantage of it. And I'm going to show you how to do it in the next few minutes. You just open up your eyes, okay? All right, so these guys said, look, all these counties could pay you 16, 18, 24, whatever it was. And why don't you check up on it? So I did. I got on the phone. And one place I called was Baltimore, Maryland. Now, Baltimore, Maryland, just so you know, is just a small city, okay? Been in the news a lot recently, but not for good things. So if a property owner doesn't pay the tax, Baltimore, Maryland will let you pay the tax and pay you 24%. Now, think about making 24% of your money. Now, if you don't get paid, you get the property. It's one or the other. Okay, you got the idea. So I called Baltimore, and I said to the lady that answered the phone at the county, I said, you sell tax certificates? She said, yes. And I said, well, how much are you paying? She said, 24%. I said, I don't believe this. I said, great, can I get a list of those? And here's what she said. She said, I'm going to send you a catalog. And I was kind of taken aback, a catalog. I said, a catalog? I said, is that like a clothing catalog or a shoe catalog or what? She said, no, this is just a catalog of tax. And here comes the catalog. Just in that one county, they had 9,000 tax certificates. Now, folks, if we get all the people on the phone, all the people on the internet tonight, all the people that we know we could get on the phone, we could all go there and we couldn't buy all the tax certificates. So I then realized this was a big business. I didn't know how big it was until what happened is I started finding out. So I started making telephone calls. One of the first places I called, the second place I called, I should say, was Tampa, Florida. Now that's called Hillsborough County. Now I'm going to go behind me because I got another desk back here and I'm going to find it for you so I can show you. All right. So I called the county and maybe I can't find it here. Here it is. Give me a second. I'll come right back. Not to worry. Not to worry. I'm not going away. I called Tampa, Florida. And I asked the woman, I said, listen, do you sell tax certificates? And she said, yes. And I said, could you send me the list? And she said, no. And I said, well, how will I know what to buy? And she said, well, I can't send you the list. So I said, well, gee, I'm really going to need the list. And she said, well, I can't send it to you. So I just kind of was persistent. And I said, well, why can't you send it to me? Finally, she said, I can't send you the list because it's too big to send. I was in shock. So she told me to go to the newspaper. And at that time, Tampa had 40,000 certificates just in that one county. And there's the paper. So she told me to go to the newspaper and I could find it there. So it didn't matter what county I went to. So let me show you some other counties, okay? Okay, next one I'm gonna show you is this is like Duval County. Now, Duval County is here in Florida. It's Jacksonville. They only had 30,000 certificates, only had 30,000. So you're suddenly starting to realize that I'm only talking about a few counties. Now, that's too small for you to read. You'd need to have a magnifying glass to do it. But I have access to this internet-wise. It's even better. My point is there was thousands of these certificates, thousands and thousands available. All right, so you could buy any you want. You can pick it out and go buy it. If you want to go drive by and see what it looks like, you can do any of that. All of this information is accessible if you know how to get there. All right, so the rest of the country, half of the country sell tax certificates. Then the other half of the country sell tax deeds. That means Tax deeds mean the government's going to go out and confiscate the property. So that means the property owner didn't pay, so the government's going to take the property away. All right, that's what they do in New York. And I'm using New York because you'll see now, I did, in the last 2 years, I've done 9 deals in New York. And I'll show you some of the deals here in just a minute. So 9 deals. Now, how many are going to find these properties? If you're living in Canada right now, boy, would be a field day. Okay, so this is an auction brochure. Now, let me get you some of these brochures. I have a big desk here behind me so I can do all this. All right, so I'm going to put my clicker down. And I'm going to hold these up so you can kind of see them. But let me go back to what I'm doing. Let me go backwards. All right. Every one of those counties will issue a brochure. I downloaded these off the internet so I could show you tonight, okay? Okay, so any county, okay? Now, what county did I end up with? Okay, this is Sullivan County. If you look on the map, I'll show it to you. Look on the map. Look way on the bottom. You can see New York, and then count up. 1, 2, 3, 4. It says Rockland, Orange, Sullivan. So that county, they had 235 properties. Look at this. These are the properties. They show you pictures of every property. They show you the property description, everything you want to know. All of these properties, 235 of them, yeah, all of those properties are for sale, starting bid, back taxes only, no mortgage. Let me say it again. Back taxes, no mortgage is the starting bid. Okay, so look at all the counties they got in New York. Now, I'm just going to take you to Sullivan. So this auction was 235. Last year, they had 468. So this happens every year. Every year they want to sell these properties. Minimum bid, read it on the screen. Back taxes only. That's the starting bid. So you have to, that's the minimum you could pay. Now there's an outline of New York there. You can see it on the brochure. Look at that. 468 probably takes 2 days to get rid of all those. And even then they couldn't sell them all. They could not sell them all. And rarely can they sell them all. Why? Because people don't even know about these auctions. They think they know about them, but they don't. Sullivan County only advertises in Sullivan County. They were 1 hour and 15 minutes from New York City. So there's 8 million people in New York City, and they still couldn't sell all the property because they don't advertise and they don't know it. All right, here's the same county, it's the same brochure, and as you can see, mortgage-free properties. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple that came to my class, and I sent them there to buy, and I'll give you a good example so you get it. All right, so this is happening in every county, in every state in the United States. It's happening every single one of them. So we started out, we learned about tax liens. Now we're looking about tax deeds. These are the actual properties they're going to sell off, the actual properties. All right, now let me show you that just quickly so you get some idea of what we're going to get to a little later on. On the left side, these are guidebooks, directories, CDs, DVDs to learn from. In the middle, you're going to see that directory. I'll tell you how to use that later in a minute. On the right, it says hand-holding and deal-making, if you can read your screen. That's a video coach. So you can slide the DVD into your computer and watch it that way, or you can watch it online, whichever one you want to do, or you can do both. Now, I've been teaching people a long time, so I know that you need help. You don't know that you need help, but I know you do. So look on the right-hand side of that slide. It says Certificate of Coaching for 1 year. I'm going to give you that certificate. I'm going to give that to you so that you get someone to help you every Wednesday night. Now, let me say this again. Every Wednesday night, except Thanksgiving and Christmas, there'll be someone there to guide you. And then over on the left-hand side, 4 times a year, I do an event. All of that comes with your course material. But let's go back and talk about this couple. All right, now this couple is going to go. Now, if you have pencil and paper and you write this down, you are about to be shocked right out of your shoes. You are not going to, they're going to tell you exactly what they did, and I want you to write it down as we go. So they're going to go. They're from Canada. They went to New York like I told them to go there. They were actually here at one of my events. So what they did is they just drove up to New York and went to the auction, okay? You can go to any auction in the United States that you want, anybody from anywhere, or you can do it online, whichever way you want to do it. They wanted to go because they wanted to be there to look at the
first met Ted.
All right, now let me stop her for a second. What I want you to do is just write down what she pays. Write down what she pays. You are going to be shocked. There was 400 properties or 500, somewhere around that range. All right, so she's going to buy property. She's going to tell you exactly what you did, and then you're going to see the analytics. So I'm not going to just say, hey, look, we're going to make you rich. I'm going to show you the analytics. Nobody in the world will show you the analytics like I will. Why do I do that? I've been doing this for 25 years. I can tell you what's right and what's wrong, and I can tell you in seconds. All right, so watch this.
I first met Ted last August through Dave DuBois' webinar, and we had decided that we really needed something more for our retirement. And when I saw tax deeds, I really knew that this was something that we could do.
Write down the numbers she gives you.
That would work for us.
Write down the number.
Joan brought this tax liens and deeds business to my attention. I thought it was just one of those other get-rich-quick schemes that we've seen so many of before. You know, they're always too good to be true until you actually investigate them, and then you know they are. This one here was different. Once we got into the auction part of it itself, the more we researched it, the more we found that it was viable.
We went to our first auction in June.
Write it down. Write it down.
In Sullivan County, New York. And there were 500 properties up for auction, and we ended up buying 4 of them. The first one we got was a single family home. It was valued at $70,000. We paid $25,000 for it. It has a tenant already in it. She's on renter's assistance, so the government is actually going to pay us $800 a month rent. The second property we bought was 27 acres of land on a beautiful side hill overlooking the river. Forested land. It's divided into 5 lots. It's valued at $175,000, and we paid $12,000 for it. Then we also bought 2 residential lots. They're both about 2 acres, and one we paid $1,000 for, one we paid $600 for. They're both valued at $20,000.
Without taking Ted's course, we'd never have learned how to do tax deeds and liens. We had heard about it before, but you know, it's very difficult to find the lists of properties that are available, and let alone trying to find which counties have sales on at what time and all that kind of stuff.
But Ted gives us all that information. It's very well laid out, and we're just excited about our future. This is going to give us all of our dreams and hopes fulfilled, because we do it together, and the earning potential is unlimited.
Retirement, here we come.
Okay, so these folks that like to retire, like an awful lot of people want to retire, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through some of the analytics with you, and I hope you wrote it down. Okay, so the first property they bought, they said the tax value of it was $70,000. Okay, but they bought it for $25,000, but it had a tenant in it, so it was already bringing in $10,000 a year in rent. So now I want you to think about this for a second. On this hand, they spent 25, but they're already bringing in 10. That's about a 40% return. So call it a 35% return. That's a heck of a return just to start. So nothing wrong with that deal. If they wanted to sell it, well, go ahead and discount it and sell it. Sell it for $35,000, whatever they want to sell for, they can make the money right away. But it gets better, because the next property they bought, you might recall she said it was a subdivision. It was 27 acres divided into 5 different lots, okay? But look at the tax value of that property, and they only paid $12,000. I think that's about 6 cents on the dollar, if I remember right. So that's pretty darn good. 6 cents on the dollar. The whole game here isn't, we're not just only trying to buy them right, but if we can buy them for 6 cents on the dollar, could we sell them for 50 cents on the dollar and be happy? Well, think of all the television programs you ever watch. Everybody and their brothers out there saying, buy those flippers, buy those properties for low price. Why don't you be the one selling to those guys? What's wrong with that? Okay, I'm going to show you ways to sell that property quickly in just a minute, but you're getting the idea. Now, she didn't buy all big ones. That was a pretty big one. She bought a small residential lot, was worth $20,000. Now, I'm a big fan, and I've been teaching it for 20 years. Buy residential lots, because there's why right there. They purchased it for $1,000. You see, most people are conceived in a house. They live in a house. So when they go to the auction, they're raising their hand, they want to buy houses. But wait a minute. If I can buy this residential lot, and I've got a spread between $1,000 and $20,000, I know I can sell that thing pretty easily. So the challenge with most people that get into business is they're not very good at sales. And I get it. I know they're not good at sales because they didn't get trained at that, and they don't want to be a broker. And some people just feel funny about maybe getting a no answer. So I'm going to show you a couple of steps right now that I just simplified this process. It is so simple. If you will just use this, you'll find out it'll work for you every time. So I use what I call a Walmart approach, okay? Now, any woman that's watching right now, and I can't tell on the list, well, there is a couple of women, that's great. If you ask her where to go shopping in your community and you want to get the best buy, she'll start with Walmart, she'll probably go to Costco, and then she'll go to Target. Okay, all of those stores have the same formula. They buy it low and they sell it low. Now, listen to what I said. Buy it low and sell it low. Every real estate course teaches you the opposite. They say buy it low and sell it high. Don't do that. Buy it low, sell it low, and get on to the next one. You see, we've got 5,000 of these auctions every year, and the rest of the world doesn't know what we're talking about. They're not going to the auction. They don't know what we're doing, so we don't have to tell them. So buy it low, sell it low, take a profit. Take a profit. What did I say? I said take a profit. All right, so there's a way to sell these. All right, and the way to sell them is very easy. So look at the second property. Let's use that one. Okay, the second property has a value. Okay, who determined that value? Well, I'll tell you, you know who determined it. It was the tax collector and the treasurer. So here's what my ad reads, okay? Now, I'm going to sell this property, and I'm going to sell it for a low price. So I use the tax assessed value, $175,000, because that was the real number, 65% discount. I'm going to sell it for 62. So you tell me, and you think about it for a second, is that going to take me 4 days, 4 weeks, or 4 months? I can tell you right now, I'm going to put that on Craigslist. Doesn't cost me anything. I can put that on eBay. Cost me a few $100. I can put an ad in the paper as big as your thumb. Tax value 175, 65% discount. You tell me what's going to happen. But what did she invest? She only had $12,000 invested. If she sells it for 62, look at the profit margin. Where are you going to get that kind of profit margin? All right, now is this the same business we started with? Yes, it's the same business. But tax liens, while we're always investing with the government, okay, we're going to get our checks back from there. So that's a predictable, certain, secure business. Now we've made this business a great business because we buy it low and we sell it low. And I'm going to show you a few examples of that over the next few minutes. If you're getting the idea, you're starting to find a whole new world of real estate investment. You see, there's tons of people that want to buy 175 for 62. Okay, but you bought it for 12. They don't know what you bought it for. They don't care what you bought it for. They just want the deal. And that's what I do. I buy those properties and then I resell them. Now, can we do that same thing on the residential lot? Well, look at my profit. I got $1,000 up and I could sell it for 49 quickly. Okay, you can see the ad on Craigslist. Tax assessed value 20,000, must sell for 5. It's not complicated math, and every one of you can do the same thing. Now, if your brain is going overtime right now, I'm telling you, there's an auction somewhere tomorrow. There's 100 auctions every week in America. 100 auctions. Look at this one. They paid $600 for. So what does a couple like that do? They make themselves a lot of money very, very quickly. All right, so let's do a quick review. You're kind of getting the idea here. Powerful, powerful business. I've got a lot more to show you, and it's going to get better and better as we go. So remember those tax lien certificates. When you buy those certificates, there's no other liens on the property. So that means the mortgage is wiped out, and you now own real estate for 3 to 10 cents on the dollar. Now, you don't need me to tell you that you got a chance to make one heck of a bunch of money if you can buy for 3 to 10 cents on the dollar. You just need to learn how to do this. So you need to start thinking, is now the time for you to do it? Now, I know what people do. Everybody in America teaches the same thing. Now, if you turn your television on this weekend or at 2 o'clock in the morning, everybody's saying, go out and buy these properties and fix them up. All right, I'm not negative on that, but I am going to tell you this. It's a lot of work, and the majority of people run out of money doing it. Why? Because when you get in and start fixing them up, you find a lot more wrong than you thought was going to be wrong. And then you have to go through the whole selling process. My selling process is down to days. Why? Why is it down to days? Very simple. Buy it low, sell it low. Nobody else will even want to talk to you about that. All right, so let's do a little fun together and watch what this woman does, okay? Now, 63% of my clients are women. Why do I have 63% women? I'll tell you right now. It's a real simple formula, okay? When the women get this course, they actually look at the manual, they actually watch the DVDs, they get on with a coach like I tell them, and they learn it. They just take a step-by-step process. It's a cookie-cutter process. I've been doing the same thing for 20 years. The guys come and tell me, no, I'm doing this, no, I'm doing that. The women are successful at this. I'm going to show you why right now. So I want you to listen. She's going to tell you what she did. I'll combine it to a real short so you don't have to watch a lot of video. Be nice and close. But she's going to tell you what she paid, what's it worth, and then she wanted to rent it. Now, that's the American way. A lot of people want to go out and rent it. I'm going to teach you buy it low, sell it low. But let's hear what she's going to do because she's following the American plan, which everybody says, oh, buy these, fix them up, and rent them. That's what she wants. But let's see how she does. She's going to do a lot different than everybody else in America simply because why she's going to buy it. So there's 3 things I want you to do. I want you to listen to what she says it's worth, see what she paid for it, and what she rents it for. Okay, here comes the video. It'll only be about 45 seconds.
There are tons and tons of tax deed properties available here in the area that I live. I mean, every month we probably go to the tax deed sales, and there's anywhere from 110 to 140 properties that they're putting up the tax deeds for sale. And that's exactly how I got this one right here behind me. I bought this for the tax deed for $11,000, ended up owning the property. I'm going to rent it out for $750 a month, so I'll have it completely paid off inside of 15 months. Even though somebody's already offered me $40,000 to buy it, I'm going to keep it as a rental property because I know in 3-4 years, this house is going to be worth $80,000. And I like the sort of the sounds of 80,000 versus 40,000 in terms of my retirement.
Okay, now let's just do some analytics together, okay? So you know what my strategy is. I want to buy it low and sell it low, but she doesn't want to do that. She wants to do a rental on it. All right, so she purchased it for $11,000. Now, I don't know whose numbers you want, but the tax assessed value was about $80,000, but she got a $40,000 offer. So in my opinion, it's worth $40,000 because that's what the offer is, okay? All right, so over here, she invests $11,000, okay? It was worth 40. So she bought it for 25 cents on the dollar. So no one can hear you answer. So the question I'm going to ask you is, she got a deal for 25 cents on the dollar. Would that make you happy? Well, of course it would. All right, now, renting property is very, very difficult because the mortgage payments, the fix up and all that. But she doesn't have any mortgage payment. She got $11,000 invested. And now what is she going to get monthly? She said $750. All right, now let's take a look. Let's take a look. Over here, she's got $11,000 invested. Now she's going to get $9,000 in income. Starting to sound pretty good, isn't it? Okay, so $11,000 invested, $9,000. Now, if she took her $11,000 over here and put it in the bank, she would make about $100 a year because the banks are paying about 1%. 11,000, 1%. She make about $100. All right. So her ROI, her return on investment, is what? It's pretty darn low if she puts it in the bank, right? 1 or 2%. But what is she going to get on this deal? She's going to get $9,000. So $11,000, she's going to get $9,000. Well, let's look at her ROI. Well, that looks pretty darn good to me. Now, can you do that with a rental property? If you know anything about real estate, you're going to be shaking your head right now. Oh my God. So either way, she does okay. If she bought it, if she had an offer for 40 and she paid 25 cents on the dollar, that was good. Now look at her return. Now, I find with the female investors that I have, they have a little bit different attitude than the men. The men all want to get rich quick. The women want security for their future. So it looks like to me she's building a lot of security. So let's take a look and see what she's done. Over a period of years, look at if she never raises the rent, how much was that deal worth? She put $11,000 in, she's going to come out with $180,000. Yes, I extended it out so you could see it, but what's wrong with that? Some people want to invest that way. But if you can buy for pennies on the dollar, does it make a whole bunch of difference in your life? If she does 5 deals like that in her life, she never have to work again. Okay, so how much she invests? It's only $11,000. Okay, you can't buy a car for 40 grand. She's got 11,000. Look what her potential is. So you're getting the idea of what we're talking about here. This is a whole new world of real estate. You just have to learn it and learn how to buy these bargains, okay? So did she get her money's worth? She paid me $1,995 for that course material. She got her money worth 10 times over. Now, this is Lisa Hall. You don't have to clap, but you'll want to clap when she finishes. This gal came to me because she said, Ted, I really have some big plans in life and things I want to do. Now, most people say big plans in life. That means they want a big house, a mansion. They want to drive a Mercedes. They want to go on trips. She didn't want to do that. She wanted to take care of other people. So I want you to listen to her because she needed a lot of money and she wanted to do the right things with it. And here's what she did. She feeds today, every day, 44 people a day. And in Africa, she feeds 4,000 people a day. That takes a lot of money. I mean, that's a lot of people to take care of. Let's listen to her.
And so I actually attended a presentation of Ted's on tax deeds and tax liens. I think it was about 2 hours long. And I was intrigued by the idea that it seemed like it was a more safe environment, more safe investment than the average real estate investment. At the time, I was somewhat occupied with other things and didn't actually take a lot of action on tax deeds and tax liens until 2009. At that point in time, I started pursuing them quite aggressively, mainly tax deeds. I've done a few liens, but mostly tax deeds because there's a higher rate of return on your investment. I tend to use other people's money to do that. And the learning curve was fairly straightforward with tax deeds and tax liens, as long as you're very cautious with learning the rules of every different county and state. I bought my very first tax deed outside of California. So in the 5 years that I did tax deeds in California, I never used any of my own money. I used other people's money. I use investors' money because that's the way to leverage yourself to increase your profits. And we earned, the last group that I worked with in California, over a 5-year period, about $5 million.
Whew. Yeah, she said $5 million. Wow. So when I'm doing that in a live audience, she really gets a lot of applause for that, because she was really dedicated. Okay, but you need a lot of money. Okay. All right, so what you guys are concerned about is what is it going to cost you to learn this? So let's cover a little bit of that. But before I do that, I want to bring up a couple of things, okay? All right, I don't have a big expensive campus to take care of. So I don't have any landscapers. I'm not paying taxes on all those buildings. I'm not repairing them. I'm not doing all that. So you're not going to have to pay that. So I'm going to be able to save you guys a lot of money. But I still have to do a lot of advertising with my product. Now, tonight I'm really lucky because we're talking and we've met because of Roger, and Roger knows my track record and my history. And so I didn't have to do a lot of television ads, and I didn't have to rent a lot of hotel rooms. So all of those costs I'm taking out of the program. And that means that you're going to be able to save a lot of money. So you can see what the price of this program is. But the price of the program is up there because we have so many other costs. Now, I don't have those when I'm working with Roger, because Roger's helping me out, and I would do the same and help him out. So I'm able to take the price and slash it and take it down way lower than what you would ever imagine. So these people that you've seen so far have invested $1,995, and look what the returns they've got. Now look at the price, and let me just tell you some of the things I'm giving you, and then I'm going to go on and tell you more about it. On the right-hand side, just below the price, it says that there's a webinar, a live webinar. It's a coaching call every Wednesday night for 1 year. So you're going to get 1 year of that as part of this. You're also going to get to come to a 3-day event that I do. And that doesn't even count. Look, on the top is that platinum thumb drive, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. You're going to be shocked because I'm going to give you such a competitive advantage that no one, and I'm going to say that again, no one can give you. Now, some people sit in rooms and copy every word. Some people take a picture of every slide and they try to copy what I'm doing, but they can't because they don't have the coaching team I have to be able to help you. And I've got a real live coaching team, and I'll come back and tell you more about that. But let me tell you about some of the competitive advantages that I'm going to be able to give you that you can't get anywhere else. And then we'll kind of start buttoning it up for tonight. Okay, the map you're looking at is a county map of the United States. Now, there's over 3,000 counties there that sell tax lien certificates or tax deeds. Now, there's an additional, I couldn't get them on the map because you couldn't read the map then, additional 1,700 municipalities do that. Let me turn behind me and see if I can find my little external drive. I know it's here because she always leaves it for me. Here it is. All right, I want you to just watch what I'm going to do. Talk about a competitive advantage. Nobody can do what I'm going to do right now. Okay, this is wrapped up, but you can probably understand that's nothing more than an external drive or a thumb drive like you see over on the right-hand side. Okay, if you have this thumb drive, okay, I sell this separately for $3,000, but I'm going to give it to you guys. I'm going to give it to everybody. If you take this and walk over to, I've got a computer over there. That's why I'm pointing. You go over there and you plug it into that computer. You can access every county. Now read the bottom of the screen. That means you can access 100 million properties with this one device from your kitchen table. Nobody can do that. Why can't anybody else do that? I'll tell you why. They could copy my stuff, but they couldn't teach you how to do it. But we can teach you how to do it step by step. So what if you found the property? So any county in California you want to go, any county in Florida, you name the state, we can go there and find every single property. So there's a property tax list from Orange County, okay? And you can see all the detail, very hard to read, but we can balloon that up and have it online just like what I'm doing now. Then I can go to the price. So I can tell you the tax assessed value of every property in the United States. Look, the value is $250, but the auction price is $25. Do you want to go to that auction? You're darn right you want to go to that. What if you could do that online? Well, you couldn't do it. I did it just instantaneously. I can do that with every property in the United States. Nobody else can do that. I can send someone out there to look at it. I can sit here and make my decisions on whatever I want to do. I can do everything we want to do. All right, so those are some big investments. I can teach you to do small investments. Now, what I'm about to teach you is going to shock you, but this is happening every day. Every day, what you're seeing right now is happening across America. All right, this man, using that external drive, found a property in his neighborhood on a lake. He found that property. All right, well, the first thing you want to know is what's the property worth? Now, this property, you could build your house and you could live on this lake. You could build a house on this lot. And so what do you want to know? So first thing you can look up using that external drive is the value. Now, if you'll write these numbers down as I do them, you'll come back and look at this later and you'll just shake your head and say, I've been doing the wrong thing for a long time. So the value of this property is $39,000, but it's going to go to auction with a starting price of $500. 2 years back taxes, $500. Maybe it was $800. I can't remember. Let's say it was $800. Yeah. All right. Now, I teach everybody the same thing. I'm going to teach it to you right now. Don't pay any more than 20 cents on the dollar. All right. So the value is a tax assessed value. Now, I always talk tax assessed value for a reason. Okay. People will not believe any price you say. They won't believe a broker. They won't believe an attorney. The only people that believe is a tax man. And the tax man is not exact. Sometimes they're a little high, sometimes they're a little low. But you can get someone in Russia to look it up and say, what's the tax value? And they'll believe you, because that's called a trusted source. So the tax value is a trusted source. Now, this property is coming up for auction for $500. Would you like to have it on a beautiful lake like that? Yes, you'd like to have that, okay? All right, so the starting bid was $500. So I tell all my clients, don't bid any more than 20 cents on the dollar. So close enough. You can see 39,000, call it 40, 20% of that. Don't bid over 8,000 and you'll be okay. So I got a value of 39. I'm not going to bid over 8,000. Do you see the margin? Okay, you got the margin. That's all you need to do to make money in this business. All you have to do is understand the margin. That's all. All right, so he goes to the auction. First guy bids, let's say it was 800. He bids 900. They went back and forth, back and forth. Well, here's what he bought it for. He bought it for 3,700. Now go back and look. Wow, he got that for 10 cents on the dollar. Would you like to have it for 10 cents? Well, of course you could. All right, now here's the game, and the game is easy if you use the tax assessed value. So he's going to go on Craigslist, doesn't cost anything. He's going to go on eBay for a couple $100. He's going to go in the newspaper with an ad this big, and he's going to use the tax assessed value, which you remember was 39,000, but he's going to sell it less than that. So he's going to buy it low, and he's going to sell it low. So here's what he did. He did exactly what I said. Auction bargain, must sell, tax assessed value, give a $15,000 discount. You tell me, 4 days, 4 weeks, or 4 months? I don't know. If it took you 4 months and you sold it, well, he did sell it. He sold it in 1 month for somebody for $24,000. Wow, think about how much money he made. Okay, so he paid $37,000. He made $20,000. Here's the question to ask yourself. How much risk did he take? $3,700 for that lot? I don't think that's any risk at all, but it's 37. So it's $3,700. Look what he made. Would you want to do that in a month? Folks, at every auction, and I will guarantee this to you, you can go to auctions from now until the cows come home, okay? You can go to every 25 to 35% of all the properties will be residential lots. You can buy those all day long. What's the risk? You worry about termites, you worry about something breaking into it, you worry about damaging it. What are they going to do? You cut the grass. There's nothing to do with residential lots. You can buy them by the hundreds if you want. Buy them by the hundreds. So this guy's standing on that lot, and I said to him, I said, is this the best deal you ever made? He said, what'd you say? I said, is this the best deal you ever made? And here's his answer.
I'd have to say that the best dollar for dollar deal I've ever done on a piece of land, it happened in Oklahoma. I went out to an outlying county and I bought a tax lien. The tax lien was on a 25-acre piece of land. The tax lien was only $67.12. You'd think that nobody would ever abandon a piece of land for that small of a tax bill, but things like that do happen. And guess what? Those people never did pay that tax. They never redeemed that tax lien, and I ended up getting the tax deed to that property. I eventually sold that piece of land for $22,500. It's not uncommon to make $10,000 or $20,000 off of a deal.
Wow, think about that. Just think about that. All right, so property value is 39, sold it for 24. He made himself 20,000 bucks. Look at this one, paid $67. You can't even go to the Olive Garden or some little restaurant with your wife for $67. You're not going to get it done. And here this guy's making 22,000. All right, it's just the knowledge is what counts. And once you know how to do it, you can do it for the rest of your life. I've been doing it for 25 years. Okay, why give up? Yeah, I know people that they every 2 years they got another job they're doing. Every 2 years they're looking for another income source. I don't have to do that. I can do this for the rest of my life, and so can you. Every one of you can do it. So let's look at all the things that come with these course materials, okay? All right, so up on the left-hand side, I call that the quick start in making money. Everything you need to know is in that course, but I want to make it a heck of a lot better than just what you need. So you can see that thumb drive up there. That will give you a competitive advantage over anybody that ever wants to go to an auction and save you hundreds of hours. Then on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see it says hand-holding and dealing. That's a video coach that will guide you through the step-by-step process. Now, I don't sell materials just for the sake of selling. We're going to stay with you. And by that, I mean, every Wednesday night, you'll have a certified coach. Now, you don't know what I mean by certified. I don't have a coach that hasn't been with me 10 years. Okay, all my coaches, and not as old as I am, but they're all 60 years old and they're all deal makers. You can't find a coaching team that's done as many deals as they have. There is no other in the United States that can do that many. They've done over 200 properties at tax auctions they bought and resold. Where are you going to get that experience? And then, of course, I'm going to have a 3-day event. And I got one coming up, as a matter of fact, in September. So you guys, I'm going to give you a ticket to come to that. So you're getting the idea. There's a lot of materials here, but my price is frozen at $1,995. Okay, I can tell you how great I am on Google and all that, but you guys know that I wouldn't be here, okay? So if you're looking for a way to make money and take care of yourself, well, you're in the right place. So I'm going to kind of button it up by showing you just a couple of more people that have gone and made big money, but I want to emphasize these people are going to do it online. So what I'm going to show you the next couple of minutes, and then I'll finish, is people online. Now, this guy's name is Kelly, and if you watch what I'm going to do now, this is really impressive. He's from Regina, spelled with an R, Regina, Canada, okay? That's the capital of Saskatchewan. It's that big province right in the middle, and it stretches from the United States all the way to the Arctic Circle. All right, now he doesn't want to leave home. So I said, buy residential lots, learn how to do it. He's going to do everything online. So let me take you through this online process with him. Okay, this is really interesting. If you get what you're seeing now, I can't get this done by next Friday now, but I can get you in the same position you're going to see this guy in. So the next 3 minutes are going to be really impressive for all of you. And every one of you could be in that same position a very short time from now. Okay, the reason he stayed with me is because of this question and answer hotline. He said, I don't want to buy something, live up here in Canada, be left all alone. I said, I'll give you a coach every Wednesday night. When he found that out, he bought in. So watch what happened. He's going to buy a property, follow the red arrow. He's going to buy a property in Riverside, California. Now, Roger is the only one probably on the phone call that knows where Riverside is. It's one county in from Los Angeles, okay? So it's a big county, and it's a big county, a lot of people. There's probably 4, maybe even 6 million people live in Riverside. They all commute to downtown LA or whatever to work. Okay, so he's going to buy in Riverside. Now, the prices there are staggering. The prices are staggering. Okay, so he's going to start out. The property value, I told him to buy a residential lot. The value was $229,000. Paid 15 cents on the dollar. Paid $35,000. So I told him, buy it low. You guys know what's next. Sell it low. He did exactly that. So he sold it in less than 60 days, made himself $20,000. He did all of that online. He never left his basement office.
My name is Kelly Osmack, and I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan. I'm a Ted.Thomas student. I had purchased a lot in Riverside County, or Riverside. I purchased it for $35,000, and after I got my title, I listed it. It was listed for a month, and I got a full cash offer of $55,000 US.
How about that? So, all right, so what should he do next? Well, he does something. He keeps going at it. He's just going to do things online.
After that deal, I went to the Kitsap County in Washington and purchased a 5-acre parcel in Kingston, and I paid $131,000 for that property. It had a 1,300 square foot manufactured home and a barn on the property. Really nice property. I had it listed at $280, and I received a full price offer in 4 days.
He said a full price offer in 4 days. Now, how are you going to do that? Because he bought it low and he sold it low. Let's see, take a look at what he did. Paid $130,000, sold it for $280. How many deals do you have to do in your life to be happy? Would that one do it? Well, he didn't stop there. There was no way he stopped there. This is the materials he's using to get it done. I'll show you one more. And
I went back to Riverside because it's a great place. I love Riverside for whatever reason. In May, I bought another property. It's in Desert Hot Springs. It's another 5-acre parcel. It's awesome. Yeah, I bought this property.
Whoa.
For $177,000, 5 acres of land. On Zillow, they had it listed in 2011 for $798,000. There's this house. There's another 900 square foot nanny mother-in-law house. There's outbuildings. It's a beautiful property. I had a realtor go look at it, and he said, yeah, it's in, like, from the exterior, looks like it's in decent shape, depending what the inside is. He said it could range for anywhere from 500 to 800. I'll probably clear 100,000 US on that deal. I've never left my basement office.
Okay, now here's a guy that's doing it on the internet, and if you listen to him laugh, you'll laugh with him because he's making can you imagine buying a house like this, 8,000 square feet? All right, so look at the value, look at the quick sale price. Look what he did. He made himself 100,000. Yes, he could have held out for a longer period of time, but make the money and move on. Make the money and move on. You're getting the idea, okay? All right, so let me give you another competitive advantage nobody else can give you, okay? We do this every day. When do we do it? We do it every day. So
Hi,
I have
my
people,
name is Kim. Here at Ted.Thomas's office.
every one of those people is
Hi,
here.
my name is Lance from Ted. Hi, I'm Ash.
You're getting the idea. There's someone here to help you every single day of the week. Every single day. No one else can do that. Now, if you'll do what I'm going to show you now, you'll never have to work again. Never have to work again. So this is the last thing I'm going to show you tonight. And this is important because this was a guy that was very nervous. And I know if you're sitting out there and you're watching right now, I know some of you are finally putting some things in the chat box. This is the real deal. This has been the real deal for a long time. So this guy came to me and he was scared half to death. He said, I'm afraid to spend the money. Okay, this is the guy that you're going to meet, okay? So I said, look, come to my 3-day event. I want you to get through the materials. Come to my 3-day event. I'm going to put you with coaches, and you'll see in the 3-day event how they do everything step by step. He said, okay, so he came to the 3-day event. Now I gave him tickets to do that, okay? Now there's one coming up. So your timing is perfect because I'm going to give everyone that gets involved, I'm going to give you a ticket. So this is absolutely perfect timing. All right. Now nobody on the planet can do what I'm going to do next. There is no one on the planet can do what I'm going to do. Performance guarantee. Now you can ask Roger in private if anybody would give a performance guarantee. There is no one in this industry. So if you can't find 5 tax lien certificates that satisfy you, I'll have my office find you 10. But many of you are going to want to buy properties like we're talking about. If you can't find 5 that you like, I'll have my office find you 10. So no one can give you. I will give you that in writing. I'll write my name on the bottom just like you see there, and I'll hand that. You can take that to attorney. There's no weasel clauses for me to get out. I can't get out. I've got to do it. So that's what we do. All right. Now, this guy was scared to death. I said, look, I want you to go to Los Angeles. He said, why should I go to Los Angeles? I said, there's going to be a lot of properties. Now, folks, you're not going to believe what you're going to see, but take my word for it. This is real. This is an auction brochure with all the properties that will be sold in Los Angeles. In the 5th wealthiest county in the United States, look how many properties are available. So he said, okay, I'm going. He finally, you're going to hear.
My name's Renee Goche from Surrey, BC. In October, I went to Los Angeles County tax deed sale. Bought 5 properties for roughly $85,000. They are vacant lots. One is in Malibu, 4 in downtown LA. Gorgeous properties. Their value, tax assessed value, is just over $1 million. I did this after taking Ted's course in under 90 days. Thanks, Ted.
Folks, this is the real deal. This is the real deal. How many properties did he buy? Well, They said the value was $1 million. Who made up that number? It wasn't a broker. It was the tax assessor. Okay, he paid $85,000. That's about 8.5 cents on the dollar. Where are you going to get property for 8.5 cents on the dollar? This is a recent case history. This is the kind of business it is. All right, but you know, the proof is in the pudding. You know, I can give you all the things in the world, but when I say what I'm going to say next, you're going to have to sit back and think about it. So let's read it together. If he sells all 5 properties and gives an 80% discount, will they sell quickly? All right, let's go back. What were they worth? They were worth $1 million. 80% discount. Well, let's do it. So they're worth $1 million. He's going to give an 80% discount. That leaves about $200,000. But how much did he invest? He invested 85. So you tell me, should you be doing this? If you're saying yes, well, when's a good time to start? You're kind of getting the idea. So I'm not going to show you any more of those, but I'm the only guy that will give you a performance guarantee. How could I do that? Because I know what I'm doing, and I have 4 coaches to help me, and I got 4 guys here in the office to help you. So this is a serious business, serious business. Look at the money these people have made. You could be doing the same thing. I can't make you rich by Friday. I can't do it. We've got to put you through the training. You're probably going to be somewhere between 8 and 13 weeks before you really get it all. And by the time you get it, you're going to be ready to roll. Okay. So what's the best way for me to make money? Tell you guys to buy a course material or doing deals? Well, I can tell you right now, doing deals is far superior. And I'm looking for people that want to do deals. So if you didn't listen to anything now, up until now, listen to what I'm going to say. I'm looking for people that want to do deals. I'm looking for people that will study these materials. And once they've studied the materials, I want you to go to an auction and raise your hand and bid. And I'll give you the money to do it. And I'll give you the money before you go. So I'm always looking for people that want to do it. So if you'll be a finder after you learn how to do it, I'll be the funder. Wow. How much risk would it be if you use Ted's money? Think about what I just said. How much risk would there be if you use Ted's money? Now, you've been listening to me for 1 hour and 32 minutes. You either know that I can do it and show you how to do it, or you don't. But if you want to do deals, I'll do it. Now, I can't take everybody. I'm looking for 5 people. I said 5. I didn't say 25. I said 5 people that want to do it. If you're one of the 5 that wants to do this, well, then I want to talk to you. Now, most people would say, okay, that's the end. Go ahead and go home. No. I'm going to show you what a deal looks like. So if you have the talent, you're willing to put in some effort, I'll split 50-50 with you. By that, I mean is I'll put up all the money so you have no risk. But when we do the deal, the first thing we're going to do is going to pay back Ted, and then we're going to split 50-50. Now, how good a deal is that for you? So let me say it again. I'll give you the money. You go to the auction, raise your hand, and buy it. So you're the boots on the ground. I'm the guy that's backing it up. Okay, when we sell it, we pay back Ted, and then we split 50-50. Is that a good deal for you? Well, let's take a look and see. So Ted puts up the money. Let's use a mythical $100,000 deal because I don't know which one you're going to get. You need the money. I like to buy for 10 cents on the dollar. So who puts up the money? Well, Ted puts up the money. So how much risk do you have? Sounds to me like it's zero risk for you. Plus, it's a pretty zero risk program. All right, so let's sell this. So we buy it low. Let's sell it low. So let's sell it for 75. All right, now I don't know how good you are at sales, but I do know this, that if you hire a broker, what she will do is she'll call her brother-in-law on the phone and she'll tell him, look, I got a $100,000 property for 75. So probably sell quickly. Now, we have to pay the broker, so keep that in mind. So let's take out some money for the broker. Now, in addition to that, we're probably going to clean it up. Now, I don't want to fix it up. I don't want to rent it. I don't want to do a rent to own. What I want to do is I want to sell it. So we bought it low. We're going to sell it low. All right, so let's clean it up. We know we're going to have to clean it up. All right, so our objective is to get this thing sold, all right? Now, somehow or other, legal man gets involved in every deal. They always get in the deals. So what I always do is I always put in a little thing to make sure we get the attorney paid to check everything. All right, now look on the top of the screen. We paid $10,000. Who do we get that from? We got the $10,000 from Ted, okay? So let's pay Ted back, okay? Now that way I would pay Ted back. So that's what's left over for the 50-50 profit. So here's the toughest decision you got to make all night. Do you want the left side of the screen or do you want the right side? Which side do you want? You make up your mind. It's up to you. I'll do that deal with you all day long. Once you learn the materials, you can do it. You want to do 2 deals? I'll do 2 deals. All right, so how does this work out? What's your rate of return? You know, you don't make investments without knowing what your ROI is. You can't figure the ROI. It's too high because you don't have any investment. So your profit is over 1,000%. Who else could show you that and show you all the competitive advantage and someone that's been doing it for 25 years? Nobody else could show you that. Now, am I not making a profit? Don't kid yourself for a second. I'll do this deal with you all day long because there's my profit. There's my profit. Now let me go back and show that to you, okay? Let's go back here. I invested 10,000. Look on the bottom of the screen. Did I get my money back? Yes, I did. So I got my money back, plus I'm getting 27,000. I'll do that deal all day long. So if you'd like to do those kind of deals, I'm your guy, that's for sure. I'm your guy that wants it, and I'd like to do it with you. So we're going to have to take you to an order page now, but I'm going to put that up, and I'll put the order page up, and then what I'll do is I'll stay and answer questions. Now, there's only a few, and Roger's going to read them off, and we'll talk about that. So I'll stay another few minutes. So Roger, you can go ahead and take over right now, and I'll just move back here with my bottle of water and answer questions. You're the most patient guy in the world. You hung in there all that time. Thanks for doing that.
No problem, because every time I listen to you, Ted, first of all, I really get excited because it's not just the education. I have made offers to my people, and right now the people who are saying that, oh, real estate costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. Man, I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here you are offering them complete, I mean, an opportunity of a lifetime that you could know. Do you need a college education? Do you have to be a certain background? Do you have to live in a certain country? None of those things. And you already proved right here online that someone sitting on their basement from a laptop computer. So I'm telling you that I've questioned all the way people from Bangladesh. You know, it happens to be one of the poorest countries where I'm from. But here, you're giving everybody the equal opportunity that all you're asking for is make a commitment to learn my material so that I can fund you, and they don't have to leave Bangkok or Bangladesh or Bangalore or Bangor, Maine to go.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's irrelevant, and you're willing to fund. And as I said, it's not charity from your side. You're taken care of very well. And then if I were them, it's like it's almost better than investing by themselves, even if they have money, because now they have you as the security safety net. Hey,
absolutely.
The first few deals I'm gonna do with Ted and split it, and then I forgot. We're both getting excited.
Yeah. Well, Roger, let me show you that. I didn't get a chance to show this book, but this is a book of a recent California auction. You know, so there's people that say there's not enough properties in California. This is one county, LA County, and look how big that list is. I mean, there's over 1,000 properties here. 1,000 properties.
Which is a question that, Ted, you're also answering. That let me tell you the question they're asking. That, Ted, are there enough deals now that you're teaching this worldwide? Will we have enough deals? This is the question.
Right. Yeah. And the
so show them the book. Yeah. How many counties are like that?
Oh, well, I'll show you some other counties. Let me show you some other ones. Okay. All right. I can show you. I can guarantee you, in the state of New York, they will have no less than 3,000 properties this year, and these are auction brochures just locally here in the South Florida area. These are, and you can see how thick they are. How many? There's literally hundreds and hundreds. Here's what nobody's going to believe, and I'll tell you why this is happening. They can't sell all the property. And why can't they sell all the property? Because in Los Angeles County, even though, let me grab the book again, even though there's 1,500 or 1,000, 1,500 properties there, Los Angeles County only advertises that auction in Los Angeles. They don't tell anybody in the world. Now they put it on the internet, but people don't know what they're looking at. And these newspapers that come out, they come out in every county in the United States, but people don't know what they're looking at because nobody's telling them. And so they have no idea that this is going on. So I live here in Florida, and a wealthy county just north of here is called Marion County. And it's where all the Arabian horses are. Arabian horse can be $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. So they have massive stables up there all over. This is really expensive real estate. Ocala, yeah. And sure enough, they had 21,000 property owners in that one county that didn't pay the taxes.
So which is another question that they asked Ted, how will there be properties next year also? How do you know there'll be properties next year?
Well, here's how you know.
And the year next year.
Actually, it's the engineers will love this. 2.5 to 3% of all property in the United States will go to a tax auction next year. 2.5 to 3%. It's every year for the past. I've only tracked it for 25 years. It's a lot.
So
every year.
And also that this, if everybody pays their taxes, then there will be not, this investment will go away.
If everybody paid their taxes, it can't happen. Here's what's going to happen. All right, this is why it's unusual. You see, if someone in Florida passes away, they'll send a tax bill to that property. But if there's no heirs and nobody knows the tax bill coming, property will go to default. They'll sell it at auction. Okay, but Florida and Michigan are two states that I'll use as an example. So people in Michigan, in the wintertime, it's really cold. So they come to Florida and they say, wow, there's a lot of cheap real estate here. I'll buy a house. So they buy a house, and then the tax bill comes to that house. But they go home to Michigan. So they forget to have the house. And it goes to auction. All right, now the same thing is reversed. All right, so in the summer months, it's hot in Florida. So they go to Michigan and they want to go in the lakes because all the lakes up there, they want to go fishing, go on a boat. You know, what's better than Michigan in the summer, right? And they buy property and they forget it. They go to auction. So a certain amount of people are just going to pass away and nobody's going to know about it. Young people today, they're very mobile. I mean, they're really mobile, and they don't have the same monetary systems in their head. It used to be people say, we'll work for years just to get the plot of land, then more years to build a house, then more years to pay for everything we did. Now everybody grows up in a house. They have a car when they're going to high school, so they got a lot of money. So they're mobile. They don't realize that someone's paying tax on these property. So dad and mom pass away and say, we'll give you the house. They never pay the taxes. It's happening every day in America. Now, no one that's watching me is going to be rich by Friday. You are going to have to learn where they are. They're not going to throw them at you, because if they were going to throw them at you, someone would already got them. You'll have to learn a lot. You'll have to learn about little counties that are doing it that nobody's going to. You'll have to learn big counties like Los Angeles where there's thousands to choose from. You'll have to learn all that. It's a step-by-step process. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. But if you want a long-term get-rich, this is really a wealth program. And that's why I called it Wealth Without Risk, because it's a wealth.
By the way, the testimonials that you have shown, and I want people to know that some of these people, I know them personally. So these are not actors. Karen, that you showing in Mark Klee, these are people that I know personally. Yeah, in Atlanta. I actually went to, she showed me that house, literally. So because I'm in.
Right? Oh my God.
Yeah. Karen showed me the house for $40,000 that she did not take the offer, and she'd not rather rent it. And what you didn't say that, look, if she's getting $750 rent for a $11,000 investment, she keeps it for 20 years. She makes $180,000.
Somebody else pays it.
Income. She still has the house. Still has the house. And 20 years later, that house, what will it sell for? Another $200,000? So, but why would she sell it? She can just go on, and she can will it to her next generation. And so you're talking about wealth building. You're showing a generational wealth building strategy. So Ted, another question is, somebody asked that if they're overseas, how do they buy it? What is the physical process of sending money and how safe it is? Let's say they're from Bangladesh, and how is the money handled?
Okay, we have some stuff on the website about that, but basically we want to do that.
You have students in overseas, Australia, England, also they do this, right?
Okay, we're going to have to use an intermediary there. Got to be very careful when you're moving money because people hack into it. So we better not. I don't. Let's have that kind of an offline discussion because I've had people that they did too much online and they talked about it, and then people were watching them and they. Yeah, so probably do that offline, but they have to have U.S. dollars to buy. You have to have.
And so, what I'm saying is that it is done every day. It's not.
Oh no, it's done every day. Every day.
It's done every day. So there's the processes.
All of our Canadian people. Well, first of all, we haven't even discussed it. Anybody wants to see an auction take place online, they can just write it down. Bid for assets. Now, for goodness sake, just go and look at their site and watch what they do. But bid for assets will tell them how money goes to bid for assets and so on. Because
is it the number 4 or the spelled out FOR?
No, it's FOR.
Bid for assets.
Yeah, they should do that. And bid for assets will have secure accounts, and it'll tell them that the money arrived there. And it'll tell them the exact amount. But it's not tricky. But when you move money, it's not. Let's say you were going to bid 11,000. You can't just bid 11,000. It might be 11,040 because you got to pay the transfer guy. But if you didn't have the 40, then they won't take your bid. That kind of thing. So I don't do that in this environment.
All right. So Ted, we're a little bit about time. So what's the special offer for my students today?
Well, for the students that take offer right now, not only will we get all the competitive advantage thing, but I'll actually have a group of classes. And the classes will just how to do it online. So there's about a group of 8 or 10 classes that we'll record. They're already recorded and they're ready to go. But I need someone. One of my people will administer to it, so they can take them all on their own if they're really computer savvy. By the way, I'm looking to the right because Roger's on the screen to the right. Roger's. That's why I'm looking at him. But anyway, so you can watch these classes, and then you'll have a monitor, a person here in the office that will talk to you about it. Say, no, don't do it that way. Do it this way. Now go do it again, and show you how to do it. So that's a $1,200 value.
Oh wow! So it's there's a live moderator.
Well, there's going to be someone here. If they want to just watch it and then come back and do the class, they can do that any way they want to do it. We're here to make people successful. That's our job. Yes. Everybody here can help them. There's no one in my office that can't help them.
Great.
Yeah, is that good? So I'll leave that up, and they can go to www.tedretireme.com, and they can make this. They can just and the price, remember, is $1,995. Do I have another click there? I probably.
Yes. Is there another?
Yeah, that's
there. You go. Okay, that's what I was missing. So it is not 13,492.
No, that's the value. That's the value.
So today, guys, you can get all of these things for only $1,995, and you can do the class online. And he's also giving you a free ticket to the live class if you happen to be in the U.S. and you want to come. September. What was the date?
September. I'll back it up and see if I can get it. I'm not sure. It's about the 25th. Linda, what's the dates of the seminar? 2020. What's the right? A month from now. 20, 21, and 22.
Okay, great. So, and by the way, I have personally attended that program, and it's an incredibly intense, and you will meet people live that have actually, these people that you're seeing, there will be people who will give you live testimonials that Ted's system works. They have made money. This is not some gimmicky stuff. But as he said, this is not a get rich by Friday. It's a wealth building program, and it's guaranteed by the government. You don't invest with Ted or me. You invest with the government, and you get paid by the government, and it's guaranteed statutory every county there. So you can pretty much take it to the bank.
And we've been here for a lot of years. We know how to answer your questions. I mean, we really we do that. I did 9 properties myself in the last 18 years.
So good. They go to tedretireme.com and fill out the registration form. Is that, am I correct?
That's all they have to do, and go through the registration form and put their credit card in, and then someone will contact them right away. They will be in a class next Wednesday night, a free class next Wednesday night, and every Wednesday night for a year.
Great. So the support that Ted provides for his students is really unparalleled. That nobody will go this much out of their way to hold a class every week for a year to hold your hand. So any question that you have, he will answer your questions and take you there. And he's willing to, if you learn this thing, he's willing to fund the deal for you and split the profit 50-50. What more do you want? So Ted, thank you so much for doing this for my tribe. And I will, I know that there's people that have physically and actually texted me that they couldn't do it today. They're looking, already asked in advance, ask for the replay link. And by the way, when you get the replay link, watch it again. So there's so much valuable information that he has given you today, and you can learn right from there. So one more time, Ted, thank you very much. And if you're listening, good luck and Godspeed.